Great sadhakas, hearty welcome to you all. Hearty congratulations also to you all that we are all chosen by the Lord and the Guru, that they are giving us this Brahma Vidya, and we also have chosen to seek it. Most beautiful thing it is, only is we have to realize the glory of this combination of our choosing Him and Him choosing us. And then, with all our willingness, stabilize in this process till everything gets settled in this. The settlement is being consistent, being regular, being grasping what is being discussed, and then digesting it and implementing it. May, with this effort in this life of ours, may we achieve maximum, even the ultimate. Friends, the 13 Vyaktitvas of Lokasevaka, Dharmastapaka, Viragi, Bhakta, Shishya, Mumukshu, Jignasu, Shrota, Sadhaka, Parishrami, Prerita, Prashanta, Samskrita, Bhasha, Jnata, Vyakarana Sahita. Hope these Vyaktitvas, sometime or the other of the day, we are remembering, we are becoming conscious of them, we are seeing how much we are putting effort and deepening, strengthening these Vyaktitvas. That's a very beautiful, what do you say, a wrong word, time pass, but a very good way of spending the time very well. So, too, what a beautiful six things are there always to guide us, help us, bless us. It is we only who have to come out of our own unwanted inhibitions or egos mainly, and then seek the help. So wonderful they are to help us without any expectation, any selfishness. We have to find within us what are the causes because of which such wonderful help guidance from these sources we are not fully receiving, though they are sending. The Shruti Mata, what are the hesitations, inhibitions in us? The Gurus, what are the doubts in our mind? The Devatas, what are the inconsistencies in us in not invoking them? The Jagannatha, why the lacking of that full faith in her? And also the Ishwara, why delay in surrendering to him when so many times we heard Sarvadharman Paritejya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Saha Aham Tva Sarvapapebhyaha Mokshayishyami. How many times we heard it? So why delay in that surrender? And then have we started the Brahma Chintana and Anusandhana, even though we are listening about the Brahma Tattva every day. So in this way, rethinking, reconciling, resetting ourselves, restarting. Every day we have to do. How much we are able to do that day, that is our success. Another day comes, again we will do. This is how. One side, the days are spent, but the other side, what is to be done is done. Then, in its own time, what has to happen as a spiritual evolution, that will start happening. Welcome once again, friends. The great Shastra, Shwethashwathara Upanishad, we are into the study of it. 9 months today, 270 days. First chapter we are into the 12th, 11th mantra Dhenam, wherein the Rishi and the Shruti Mata says, therefore know that self alone, know that self alone, Nityam, Niyamena, know that self alone, Atmastha. Then how to know him as Bhokta, Bhogyam, PRERITHA. So this self has to be known in our own self as ourself. That's the way, that's the only way. Every other way is not a complete correct way. To drive this thought into our heart, the 3 4 Puranic quotations Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavan is putting in front of us. Otherwise, either we become misguided in seeing the Lord everywhere or trying to see the Lord somewhere else, not in ourselves, or we just become casual, claiming to be spiritual but not at all having the seriousness to recognize that Lord. So, the seriousness to recognize Him and recognize Him in our own heart as our own self. These are the most crucial things in spirituality. Without these two, we will be very superficial spiritual people. That's why this mantra is specially mentioned by the Shruti Mata, and very much importance is given by Bhashyakara to explain it so that we are left with no doubt, no hesitation at all as to what to search, where to search, how to search. What to search is self alone. Where to search is in our own heart. How to search it is whatever that is hiding it, covering it, discovering that cover. These are the three very good topics, very essential topics are explained in this particular 11th mantra. We have seen to a good extent, further also we will see today. Okay, not 11th, it's the 12th mantra. Friends, before that, our Shanti mantras, our Sankalpa, that Sankalpa is a good one for the entire Sanatana Dharma, for entire universe of beings, for all of us also. So for some more time we will do it. When we will see, feel that yeah, it is done sufficiently, then we can reduce it or stop it. That we will do. Before that, some Guru mantras, Prarthana mantras. And what about today's common sense thought? Today's common sense thought is yes, 5 things. And never have this emotional, sentimental worries when such things are discussed. We are just analyzing the facts to understand the things. Because when things are understood, we can plan well for what to achieve, how to achieve. The 5 things today are first, don't feel bad when these things are discussed. First is like when I die, definitely one day I will die. What will be the world's attitude towards me after I die? Important question. The answer is in front of our own eyes, how many people are dying of all walks of life, of all sorts of achievements, isn't it? One day or 2 day, maximum morning feeling. Third day onwards, such a big hasti, whoever he may be, even if it is a great Brahmagnani, you understand, a multi-millionaire. No, the other day somebody, that great person of thousands of crores and all, he died. Then where is he? In whose memory and mind he is there? In nobody, only one or two very close relatives. That also slowly they become busy in their own work. Therefore, nobody will remember. Once in a year, उस दिन फिर से some formality, maybe little gratitude, if he is truly great and if his greatness is recognized by the people. Nobody will remember. Big people are coming, the artists, the politicians, the multimillionaires, you know, even the avatars. How many of us remember him? So, post our death, nobody cares us. Let us know that. Like our own parents, so close to us. We ourselves very rarely remember them. Then who else will remember them? Our children, our neighbors, or their own brothers, sisters. Even they also are gone. So therefore, that thinking, that worry, etc., should be dropped. क्या होगा मेरा जाने के बाद? Okay, that is to be understood. Ki we are such a very passing wind type of individuals whose presence or absence makes minimum difference. However, maximum great we are, and any time everybody is replaced by the other one. That other one can be better or not, but goes on. A singer famous died, another singer will come. An actor died, another will come. A minister, prime minister died, somebody will come. और रिप्लेसमेंट होता ही रहता है दुनिया. So we are not so indispensable. That's the first thing to understand. Very good thought it is. It relieves us from so many unwanted worries and concern. I know. Sometimes when I go, what will happen to people? Nothing will happen. 1 or 2 days they will. Thereafter things get settled. You know, I was just thinking about that. Somebody know Mr. Tata when he died. What will happen to the huge empire of lakhs of employees and all who are looking up to him? Kuch nahi, somebody will become MD and it will continue. That's it. One. Second point is what? When we are alive, how much again the same question. People are valuing us, respecting us. Isn't it? Huh? Either we have to be highly great, and also by being great, our greatness has to be unbiasedly recognized by the other people, and the other person must be a spiritual giant. Then only we are realized or recognized by the world without selfishness. Otherwise, whoever are in contact with us, they are not spiritual giants. They are not so matured in their value system and all. Maybe once in a while, but in general, इसलिए कोई भी हमसे एसोसिएटेड होते हैं, they are selfish only with us. That is a way. Only a jnani can be selfless. Very good premi can be selfless. But only 1 or 2 relations will be there maximum. All others, especially the next generation of children and all, they have to be, they are like that only. Let us realize this fact also. And let it continue. We are not going to change anything outside. First, we are just adding to our understanding. Oh, ho, people use me. My love they take, my time they take, my energy they take, my mind they take, my services they take. So they're all my duties, therefore I do it. But don't be so much great or attached to anyone, imagining that they love us. Nobody loves us. They only use us. That's it. Even God and Guru also, yes, they bless us, yet they also use us. Isn't it? They use us in their work. Of course, their work is noble of serving the world. But they bless us also. They have those powers. So, very be clear about these facts. There's nothing to be sentimental about it, worried about it, concerned about it, alarmed about it. It is like that. So, anywhere emotional undue wants, undue feelings, if it are there, just set them right, which may weaken us. That's the idea of thinking about these points. Second, third is most important. The first and two are ठीक है. Third is important. How is our attitude towards the world? It is crucial, not towards the world of beings. Today we will talk about only the beings. In that also, except maybe towards 1 or 2 people, for all others, either we don't recognize them or we recognize only to the extent we are benefited from them. That means we are also extremely selfish. And it's very rare to recognize the contribution of wife in the life, therefore love her. वो पोइट्री में सिनेमा में होता है कि तुमने मेरे को इतना किया, मैं तो तुम्हारे इतना ऋणी हूँ वगैरह, उरीणमयी नाही, लाइक हनुमान जी को राम जी कहते हैं. But otherwise, throughout life, this useless husband goes on expecting only from her, as if she has to serve. Very rare. We also are selfish, either gross or subtler. Children have to grow for our own selfishness only. है ना. कहते होंगे ओकली कि तुम बड़ा होकर अच्छे सेटल हो जाओ तो तुम्हारे लिए अच्छा है, मेरे को क्या है. But in that also there is subtle ego satisfaction. So generally we are also in this world with everyone selfish only. Unless we have deeply understood Vedanta and the Jiva Gati and all of that, we can never be free from that. And that is why the people run away from us. And that is why we are also frustrated with them. They run away because what we expect they cannot do. And we become frustrated because they run away. They leave us. And people are leaving us and going means either we are selfish or they are selfish. थर्ड थिंग इज वी आर ऑल्सो लाइक दैट टुवर्ड्स द वर्ल्ड. उसमें फिर साधना के तौर पर दोज एक्सपेक्टेशंस वी कैन रिड्यूस, मिनिमाइज करते जाना, सो दैट न्यू डेट्स आर नॉट क्रिएटेड. एनीथिंग, इवन इमोशन है, सिंपैथी है, लव, कुछ भी एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करना. करोगे तो आउट ऑफ देयर लार्ज आर्टेटेस दे मे डू इट, बट दैट बिकम्स ए ऋण अगेन. दैट मच सेंसिटिव यू हैव टू बिकम. Third point. Therefore, the outcome of all these three is the fourth one. Therefore, at least after a certain age, let us say 60, 65, let us plan the whole day of ours for our own Adhyatmic sadhana. Because what are the ones because of which we are not fully engaged in Adhyatmikata are these three things. Posthumous or before, or our attitude towards the world. And toward the world, whatever selfishness we have, that is all gross selfishness only. Only the materialistic things, nothing spiritual about. So, therefore, how to avoid those fear or the attitude of people as well as our attitude is why not we in this way make our day a beautiful thing for our own spiritual sadhana. Whole day is filled with beautiful attitude. Think about it. When we will reach to that stage of wherein whole day is so filled with full joy, with full choice in all the to be done adhyatmic sadhanas, with full consciousness, full awareness. And we have to reach to that stage one day, and that doesn't happen accidentally. It won't happen by doing of anybody else. Only when we start, continue, go through all the hurdles, obstacles, inner and outer, conquer them, negotiate them, then that stage will come. As it is said in one sentence, Vedanta Vakyeshu Sadaramantaha. See that? Always reveling in the experience of the self with the help of the Vedanta Vakyas, contemplation on them. And imagine a time wherein throughout the day, in our own mind, the devotional feelings or intellectual contemplations are happening on the Lord or the truth with the help of the great writings by the Rishi Muni. And the Tulsi Ramayana mantras, I remember, and I am reveling in the devotion. Hundreds of places, the great guidance is given to revel in the joy of devotion. But they never occur only to our mind because we are lost in these three things. What I get from people, what I have to give to them, when they die, what will happen to me, when I die, what will happen to them. These type of things only always eat away our mind very subconsciously, so too conscious. That is why our even possibility that a message is सकते हैं, that doesn't itself occur to us. Forget about making it possible. Isn't it? The need of it, the possibility of it, it doesn't occur. Then only after that we make it possible. No? Imagine that. What a beautiful life wherein all the great things, no? Anyone, like Jambavanji saying, Rama Kajulagi Tava Avatara. It is for all of us also. है ना? प्रभु की कृपा भयउ सब काजू. It is not only for राम जी हनुमान जी के लिए कह रहे हैं या सबके लिए लागू है. Like that, how many are there? In the same way, look at the Gita. How many hundreds of mantras are there worthy of contemplating, reveling in that joy, as we just now quoted? मनमना भव मद भक्त भव मध्याजी भव माम नमस्कुरु. ये फोकट में फालतू में बोला क्या भगवान ने? इमेजिन द लॉर्ड इन द युद्ध क्षेत्र postponing the yuddha, giving this knowledge to Arjuna. It's more important than yuddha there. In life, most important thing is yuddha, because life and death ka issue hai. In that situation, if the Lord has given this Gita Jnanam, it is more important than that. But did we feel it? And then these slokas. How many wonderful tad buddhaya tadatmanah tannishtaha tatparayana. Then ye yatha mam prapadyante tan tathaiva bhajami. How every chapter, how many mantras worthy of deeply contemplating to grasp the meaning and living are given. Are we not Hindus? Are we not Bharatiya? Are we not Sanatan Dharmi? Should we not be basically Adhyatmika sadhakas? Now, is not this the main quality of the Adhyatmic sadhaka? What the Rishi Munis have said is to be remembered all the time, is to be contemplated over, is to be digested, is to be lived up to. If not, where is the fulfillment in general to human life, in particular to we the Hindus? Is it not a blessing to be born in this culture, in this spiritual, scriptural Rishi tradition? See, when we think these truths, these facts, start realizing both the regrets and guilts that we have not done so far, that's okay. More than that, the anchor in our life, how the days have to be spent, the inspirations, they come to us, which are most crucial, isn't it? Why delay in selecting those 40, 50 slokas of Gita and writing somewhere? Because we don't have that powerful memory. Then ponder over them. Shraddhavan lavate jnanam. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnen sevaya. योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति संगम त्यक्त्वा आत्मशुद्धये आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किंचिदपि चिन्तयेत्. Every chapter of Gita, how many guidances. So what he said is, let us struggle for this thing, worry about these things, try for these things, engage ourselves in these things. In the same way, the Upanishadic mantras. The Ishakena Kata Prashna Munda Mandukya Taittiriya Aitareya. We are now into the Shwethashwathara, 9th Upanishad. 9 months today over. नौवा उपनिषद का 9वां महीना हो गया, बट नाउ डू वी रिमेंबर? एतद् ज्ञेयं नित्यमेवात्मसंस्थं नातः परं वेदितव्यं हि किंचित् भोक्ता भोग्यं प्रेरितारं च मत्वा त्रयं यदा ब्रह्ममेतत्. सी yesterday shloka only, त्रिविधं ब्रह्ममेतत्. तो select ईशावास्य केन कठ 2 2 3 3 4 4 मंत्र. इट इज अ वन डे जॉब. एक एक वन डे सारा हो सकता है कि ये मंत्र का ये अर्थ है, दिस इज वर्दी ऑफ कॉन्टेम्पलेशन. मैं फिर लिख के रख रहा हूँ. इवन लिखने की जरा इसको हाईलाइट करके रखो एंड राइट ऑन ए चार्ट. सोमवार ईशावास्य, मंगलवार केन, बुधवार कठ उपनिषद मंत्र. If these type of plannings are not there, executions are not there, then we are only living in illusions that we are sadhakas. If we think so, अगर वो स्टार्ट ही नहीं हुआ मानो, मैं साधक हूँ, ये डिसीजन ही नहीं हुआ, अभी भटक रहे हैं, still a samsari, irrespective of whatever the age we have gone through, then that's most sad thing, most unfortunate thing. Except feeling sympathetic, nobody can do anything. To such unintelligent people of not taking right choice, nobody can do. If I have not decided I am the sadhaka, who can help me? First step it is. And the sadhaka lakshana is this, isn't it? In the same way, how many prakarana granthas we are seeing? And see that Skanda Purana, the prarthanas, every day the prarthana to the Ishwara. Such a great samples are given to us. मेरे को तो कहते इन सब में से एक कोई भी चीज को पकड़ो मोक्ष पक्का. In the same way, the yoga darshanam. And we have gone through that. Yoga, chitta vritti nirodha, tada eva drashtu swarupe avasthanam. So what is this? Abhyasa vairagya yoga. What is that? Tapasvadhyaya ishvara pranidhana kriya yoga. What is this? Yamaniyamasana pranayam pratyahara dhyana dhyana samadhi named ashtanga yoga. What is the theoretical understanding about it? What is the practical things that are to be done? What is the outcome out of it expected as our spiritual evolution? Isn't it? When we start thinking it, then only all the dust and cobwebs that are there on our intellect go away. Intellect becomes sharper, subtler. It starts gaining the knowledge. When in our buddhi the jnana comes, then the drishti changes. The uddesha of the life, the purpose of life becomes spiritual truly, genuinely that time. Then the sleeping lion in us can wake up and whip oneself. Nobody is there to whip us. Come out of that slumber, stupor, lethargy. Then see, one after the other sadhanas throughout the day. Now we know what to do. We are engaged in them. Now see the fulfillment of it. The mere fact that we have understood itself is a fulfillment. The mere fact that we have taken an initiative itself is a great joy. The mere fact that we are able to maintain our regular sadhana, not regular samsara. Systematically we do samsara. That also good achievement. Many are erratic even in that. Isn't it? Then as we are really finding one by one experience, I got the understanding and experience of Viveka. I got the understanding, practice and experience of Vairag. I got the mastery over Shamadama. ये सब सिर्फ कहानियां नहीं है और ये सिर्फ कोई महात्मा कहते उनके लिए नहीं है. Isn't it? That's how we listen for a lot of period of our life without relating ourselves to that. ये किसी के बारे में कह रहे महात्मा जी उससे मेरा कोई संबंध ही नहीं है ऐसा सुनते हैं. महसूस होना है कि हमारे लिए कह रहे हैं हमें वो बनना है. Isn't it? So in this way we have to keep our life fully used, beautifully used in our spiritual evolution. Thereafter कोई चिंता ही नहीं अभी. We want nothing from the world. Whatever the world wants we give and we are not worried about it. And what about life and death? What life without death? Only spiritual pursuit is there. Life after the life till it is reached. पहले भी कर रहा था मैं अब किया हूँ पर आगे भी करता रहूंगा. Wherever I am. See in this attitude, where is samsara? Of the उपाधि समस्यास, of the outer world is कुछ भी नहीं है. अब ये नहीं करते हैं इसलिए मजबूरन वो करते हैं. और in that other than worry, other than misery, other than frustration, what do we find there? Isn't it? In all our worldly concerns, except miserable, where are we happy? We cannot be because in illusory world, taking it real itself is you have failed in the very first step. After taking it as real, anything we do is wrong only because it is unreal. अब करोगे क्या उसको? That is why in the world, anybody does anything, they may succeed in doing outside, but inside they'll be frustrated only because it is not real. Only a realized saint never fails while performing in the world because he never takes it seriously because he knows it's not real. He is established in the reality inside. अदर देन दैट सब फंसे ही है बाहर जितना भी मुस्कुराए एवरीबडी इनसाइड दे आर कॉट अप डिफरेंट नेम्स कोई मैं देश सेवा करूंगा मैं धर्म सेवा करूंगा मैं लोक सेवा सब बकवास पहले अपना सेवा कर फर्स्ट रियलाइज सेल्फ फर्स्ट everybody who came to save the world are saved by the world. Fourth point is this crucial. For this fourth only the other three things we discussed. Then the fifth and last is little, I don't know whether you receive it or not, make it possible or not, accept it or not. Key, whoever our next generation, without any inhibition, children, grandchildren, they have to be taught all these four things. What happens after we die, what happens when we are alive, and what we do with the world, and what spirituality we have to do. Tell them also, but study Shastras, know the meaning of them, revel in them, even though the distance is long for us to travel, but it is correct always to start the first step. Keep moving. Start attending now the satsangas. Listen. थोड़ा थोड़ा सुनो थोड़ा 10 मिनट सुनो 5 मिनट सुनो थोड़ा सा पूजा जप करो एक शास्त्र पढ़ो कोई ऐसे आपको जो मन में भाता है वो महात्मा जी को गुरु मानो उनके यहाँ जाया करो स्पेंड सम टाइम as parents it's our bounden duty to keep telling them even they may not listen as long as we are alive still और कभी ना कभी उनको महसूस होगा जब भी उनको जीवन में भी कोई मेच्योरिटी आ जाती है or some situation brings them to this remembrance, yeah, my father used to say, then they will start going. That starting going to the Adhyatmikata is the beginning of solution of all problems. Beginning. When you reach the Adhyatmic heights, all problems end. But the beginning, we have to begin spirituality to begin sorting out the problems and avoiding the problems. With your and our so many listenings for last few years, इतना मिनिमम तो बात समझ में आया होगा कि केवल आध्यात्मिक प्रयत्न में ही outer problems, inner problems are sorted out. The real goal is achieved. If we are not telling the children means we ourselves are not convinced. We have not done sufficient homework. So the fifth point of ज्योत से ज्योत जगाते चलो, the jyot which is lit in us of that spirituality, we cannot for any reason be lazy by not telling our children at least. चाहे वो कितने भी उम्र का हो, कितने भी डिफरेंट मेंटालिटी का एटीट्यूड का हो, बट टेक अप दैट राइट. योर फादर और मदर, मेक देम लिसन इन वॉट एवर द फॉर्म यू कैन टेल. अब मुंह के सामने बोलना हिम्मत नहीं होता तो व्हाट्सएप करो, मैसेज करो, ईमेल करो, है कि नहीं? है ना? विल, फादर हैज रिटन ए विल, उसमें सारा वेदांत लिख के देना. है ना? सारा धन दौलत गिव इट टू सम आश्रम समवेयर एंड गिव द विल. Yeah, father said, my will is that you should be spiritual. Anyway, in whatever the way, we cannot give up this important duty. You know, like the pavilion may, all are expecting this batsman to hit the sixer so that the team's wins. Team in the same way, all gurus, devatas are waiting anxiously for us. That will he tell his children or not about the spirituality because he's so close. His purpose is not only to bring up children financially with all comforts, but his purpose is to sow the seeds of spirituality. They're all anxious because they can't sow spiritual seeds. When we, as parents, they sow, then they can bring them up. नहीं तो कहेंगे मेरे बाप ने नहीं बोला, who are you to tell? If a guru tells a person आध्यात्मिकता के बारे में, he says, I have never heard my parents. If the parents tell, yeah, they told me, now the guru has come in our life, they will respect. And not once, please. कह दिया स्वामी जी एक बार मैंने, कब कह दिया? जो बचपन में वो 3 महीने का था. Not that way. Command him. Otherwise, you may get commanded by him. Because of your weaknesses, emotions, so many stupidities. We are the king of all stupidities. Na? So let them dominate us. Otherwise, but in this situation, one advice I am telling you, you must study Shastra every day. You must visit temple every week. You must go and stay in ashram at least once in 2 months, a day or two. You must be in close contact with at least one or two Adhyatmic Mahatmas. Now, simple contradiction or paradox is only this much. What is that? When we go to Mahatmas, our negativities go away. What do we think? When the negativities go away from me, then I'll go to Mahatmas. Why the children don't come? Is there any secret or what? Only one open secret that they are filled with all negativities. That is why they don't go. So simple it is. It is so obvious, open secret. फुल ऑफ सो मेनी नेगेटिव हैबिट्स उनको शर्मिंदगी महसूस होती है कि मैं कैसे जाऊं महात्मा के पास इट इज लाइक हैव सो मेनी डिसीजेस हाउ कैन आई गो टू डॉक्टर अरे बुद्धू डॉक्टर आए ही इसलिए सो टू फॉर द संसार डिसीज द डॉक्टर इज गुरु isn't it when you are so perfect why do you need a guru you're already perfect so that small immaturity होती है लोगों में उसको somehow sort out करके put in association with a महात्मा keep put him in spirituality कैसा करेंगे पता नहीं you find your own ways means and techniques because you and I at least I believe मेरे को तो पकड़ में आ गया कि other than spirituality there is nothing which can make us withstand to the inner and outer onslaughts and spirituality alone has to be the goal how much ever vague it is now in our understanding yet that has to be the goal that alone reality we only pursue it the clarities keep on coming है ना जो माया है जो फंसाने वाले जो खुद कमा सकते हैं वो सारा धन दौलत तो दे रहे हैं पर जो माया को पार कराने वाला है फसाव को पार कराने वाला है मुख्य लक्ष्य है जीवन का इफ दैट स्पिरिचुअलिटी इज नॉट गिवन है ना देन दे आर अनफॉर्चुनेट चिल्ड्रन दैट दे गॉट वी एज द पेरेंट्स वेरी वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट फेलोज I pity them. I sympathize with those children whose parents do not tell them spirituality. I really feel so bad for them. I pray that next time let them be born to a buffalo or the cow rather than to these parents. Isn't it? We have seen all that in Bhagavad. That father, that mother, that brother, sister, that friend, that family who doesn't tell spirituality, they are cheating us and they are our unfortunately we got that relation. So therefore, we are all. When you are a father, give to your son. When you are a friend, give to your friend. When you are a brother, give it to your brother. We only have all our relations. To every relation, we give everything but not. इतना मेहनत करके so much money we earn and give them. But what about spirituality? है ना देर वी से उसका प्रारब्ध ये तो करेगा isn't it? नहीं उसका प्रारब्ध है इसलिए नहीं करेगा बिकॉज इन इज प्रारब्ध यू आर फादर और मदर अनफॉर्चुनेट एंड इट्स अ कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस इसमें लालच होना मैंने कह दिया उसको एक बार गया दो बार फिर से कहो दिस शुड बी एड एंड ओनली यू डोंट से हो गया कर बिकॉज इफ यू स्टॉप टेलिंग यू थिंक अच्छा पापा बोलना बंद कर दी मैं नहीं जाऊंगा लाइक इन चाइल्डहुड स्कूल कॉलेज एवरी डे वी हैड टू बी सेंट स्कूल के टाइम में तो हियर आल्सो दैट्स द बेस्ट गिफ्ट व्हाइल गिविंग इट टू देम एक बात क्या होती है ना व्हेन वी आर टेलिंग देम हम खुद को शर्म आता है कि मैं खुद कर रहा हूँ कि नहीं लाइक आई एम टेलिंग यू ऑल दिस एवरी डे व्हेन आई टेल यू आई ऑलवेज having gone to the room I think whatever I told you first am I practicing it isn't it so we tell others only to realize for ourselves whether we are doing it or not that's one way all the non-realized spiritual seekers or speakers. This is how they remind themselves. It's a good reminder to you when you tell the children. or to tell them at least we practice. So that in turn helps us also. So the first thing, second thing, third thing, fourth and five, these are the things. If you are mindful of, I think it will give us maturity. Om, 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 Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rushibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyah. Om Yairime Gurubhihi Purvam Vadavakya Pramanatah Vyakhyatāh Sarva Vedantāh Tan Nityam Pranatosmyaham Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Om Sukrute Dhikrute Bahudha Bhavato Bhavita Samadarshanalasata Atidinamimam Paripalayamam Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tannamami परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदाचार्येभ्यो नमः संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्यप्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणेतिहास सन्तवाङ्मयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थं तत्रोक्त ऋषिमुनिगुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रह अनुभव प्राप्त्यर्थम सनातन धर्मस्य वैदिक हिंदव संस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थान जागरण विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थम विश्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम विश्वशांति कल्याणार्थम अस्मिन् धर्म संस्थापने कंकणबद्ध अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिवकृष्णादि समस्त मंदिराणाम् आश्रमाणां पुण्य दिव्य क्षेत्राणां विश्वविद्यालय भूभागादीनां पुनरवाप्तितेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययन अध्यापन उपासना यज्ञ याग साधना सेवादि तपस्यादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रूणां शाश्वतरूपेण समूल निर्मूलनार्थं भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हैंदव संस्कृतेः सुसंप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थं विश्वे मोक्षधर्म पुरुषार्थ प्रतिष्ठा द्वारा विश्व संरक्षणाभिवृद्ध्यर्थम अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां सर्वेषां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयार्थं तेषां हृदये परब्रह्म भगवद् देवता गुरु शास्त्र सत्संग साधना सेवा देश धर्म सनातन धर्म माता पितृ भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषदः श्री आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे आदौ पारायणम् ओम अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः 5 mantras of first chapter. ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ओम शान्तिः 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 ओम अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः ओम किं कारणं ब्रह्म ओम हरिः ओम ब्रह्मवादिनो वदन्ति किं कारणं ब्रह्म कुतः स्म जाताः जीवामकेन क्व च सम्प्रतिष्ठाः अधिष्ठिताः केन सुखेतरेषु वर्तामहे ब्रह्मविदो व्यवस्थाम् कालः स्वभावो नियतिर्यदृच्छा भूतानि योनिः पुरुष इति चिन्त्या संयोग येषां नत्वात्मभावाद् आत्माप्यनीशः सुखदुःखहेतोः ते ध्यानयोगानुगता अवश्यन् देवात्मशक्तिं स्वगुणैर्निगूढाम् यः कारणानि निखिलानि तानि कालात्मयुक्तानि अधितिष्ठत्येकः तमेकनेमिं त्रिवृतं षोडशान्तं शतार्धारं विंशतिप्रत्यराभिः अष्टकैः षड्भिर्विश्वरूपैकपाशं त्रिमार्गभेदं द्विनिमित्तैकमोहं पञ्चस्रोतोऽम्बुं पञ्चयोन्युग्रवक्राम् पञ्चप्राणोर्मिं पञ्चबुद्ध्यादिमूलां पञ्चावर्तां पञ्चदुःखौघवेगां पञ्चाशद्भेदां पञ्चपर्वामधीमः. While chanting, some of us definitely might have had that feeling, महसूस कि such a profound शास्त्र we studied but we don't remember. काश अगर हर एक श्लोक उसका अर्थ हमेशा हमारे मन में रहता, and accordingly only we are living our life of sadhana. How fulfilling it would be. We don't remember because that much importance value we have not given, not fully engaged in it. We have thousand engagements in the world. Everything we have to do except this. That day is a golden day when we reverse our this gear or this type of life. है ना? हमको आइसक्रीम भी खाना है, सिनेमा भी देखना है, टीवी भी देखना है, दुकानदारी भी करना है, मार्केट मार्केट भी जाना है, बंधु मित्रों के घर जाना है, उनको भी घर बुलाना है, इतने ऑब्लिगेशंस अटेंड करना है. अब देखो भैया क्या लिस्ट बनाया हमने. नो, with so many activities we are burdened. Where can our mind intellect be seeking these things? And then imagine the jiva in us who has come for realizing his essential self but is not given that chance at all because of our so much engagement in so many non essentials. How much that jiva must be tadap raha hoga andar. That tadap of the jiva is the continuous dukkha and dissatisfaction which I always feel. है ना? पानी को, मछली को जैसे पानी चाहिए, हमारे अंदर के जीव को वो आत्मा चाहिए. Other than that, we are giving him everything. We are not caring him that all. Like you throw a big party for all friends relatives, but father is there in the room, उनको खाना पानी कभी नहीं पूछा. There are some people like that. Even the father shouts, you tell some servant or wait for some time, I am coming. That father who gave the birth and all, mother, are there not people? We are also like that. The jiva in us is suffering. Yaar, make me realize my oneness with the self, reality. Do those things, do those things. We don't listen to that inner voice. We are engaged in so many things day in and day out, even though every of those engagements are leaving nothing but frustration with us. Leaving but nothing but disappointments, dejections, despondencies, dissatisfactions. And yet we such a delusion, you see. And delusion added to that is arrogance. You will not listen and will not change. अब देखो भाई, we have to realize these mistakes, basic mistakes. In these mantras which we chanted now, the 5 of them. How beautiful those days when we were discussing. Panchasrotombum, Panchayonugravakram, Panchavartam, Panchaparvam, Adhimaha. Wow. But where is that knowledge? अब फिर से पढ़ना पड़ेगा. मैं अपने लिए कह रहा हूँ, आप तो ज्ञानी मेधावी हो, सब याद होता है. I have forgotten all that. But it was a very tasty thing. Never mind, chalo, abhi पढ़ रहे. Luckily, we have not given up. We are going on studying. इसलिए we have lot of opportunity every day to forget because we are told. चलो, ओम नित्यानंदन निराधारम निखिलाधारम अव्ययम निगमाद्यगत नित्यम नीलकंठं नमाम्यहम्. अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः. ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. अथ एकादशो मंत्रः. ओम द्वादशो मंत्रः. ओम एतद्ज्ञेयं नित्यमेवात्मसंस्थं नातः परं वेदितव्यं हि किञ्चित्. Bhokta Bhogyam Preritarancha Matva Sarvam Proktam Trividham Brahmametatu. So, Gneyam, this is to be realized. Nityam Gneyam. Always try to realize it, know it, and always establish in it. So, Nityam Gneyam. Nityam Gneyam. Always that is to be known and established in it. This is a suggestion, advice, order by Shruti Mata and all the Gurus. What is it? Etat. What is it? Etat? Prakrutam. What is that Prakrutam? Ki Kevala Atma Akasha Brahma Rupam. Kevala, that one without second. Then Atma, our own self, which is like what? Akasha Sthaniyam. Where Akasha means in the Akasha all other four bhutas are there. So to that Atman in which all the koshas are there, which in other words called as Brahma Rupa. Kevala Atma Akasha Brahma Rupam. This is called Etat. This is what is Gneyam. This is what is Gneyam Nityam. These are the things we have thoroughly studied. Now the next word we are studying is Atma Samstham. It is to be discovered in our own self as our own self. Not outside, not as not self. That's why to convey this very beautifully in a question answer form, the Guru started. Then he started explaining to us through the quotations. The question answer form is what? Kim atra anya samstam? That the self has to be realized somewhere else? No. Then where? Swatma samstam. Swatma samstam gneyam, not anya samstam. That is to be realized as in our own self. That means we have to become antarmukhi, not anywhere else. So kimatra anya samstam? Na. Then atma samstam gneyam. Means what? Na anatmani bahye. To complete the whole thing. Somewhere else you have to do it? No. Then in our own self and not somewhere else. Two times said not somewhere else. To pull our attention from anything else and focus on one's own inner self. So na anatmani bahye, not in the not self outside. Then what is the meaning of na anatmani bahye? Ulta karo. Na anatmani means atmani. Na bahye means antaratame. So not in the not self, not outside. Therefore it is in the self, in the inside. So inside in the self, as the self. That Brahma, which is Akasha Rupa, which is Nitya, which is Atma, that has to be. Kevala. Kevala Atma Akasha Brahma Rupa. Atma Samstam Gneyam. Na Anatmani na Bahye. Are we clear about it? अंतर्मुख होने का यहाँ ऑर्डर दिया जा रहा है. Because inside only the self. How can the self be outside when the self is realized? To be realized. Then, Shruyate cha. Quotation of Shruti 1, quotations of Puranas. Okay. What is the Shruti quotation? Very powerful it is. Ki tam atmastam yenu pashyanti dhiraha tesham shanti shashwati na itaresham. See? Dhiraha means intelligent person. Dhiraha means the patient, perseverance person. Dhiraha means person who is consistent. Who is a spiritual dhiraha? Atmastam yaha e anupashyanti. Those people who are discovering that Paramatma in their own self. So ye atmastham atmanam anupashyanti te dhiraha. Atmastham is the word here for which only this quotation is quoted. Tam atmastham ye anupashyanti dhiraha. And for them only, tesham shanti shashwati. The permanent peace and happiness. Na itaresham, not for anyone else. So atmastham is the word. Shruyate, Shruti is quoted, Kathopanishad. Therefore, the discussion is on Shwethashwathara Upanishad. To substantiate it, the Kathopanishad is quoted. And what is the topic? Atmastham. Etad gneyam, etad, etad gneyam, etad gneyam nityam. But more important, etad gneyam nityam atmasamstam. Nityam eva atmasamstam. Eva word everywhere we have used. Etadeva gneyam, gneyameva, nityameva, atmasamstameva. Eva means only alone. Okay. So, tam atmastam yenu pashandiraha tesham shanti shashvati naidrisham. Now the quotations from the other Puranas. For what? Not allowing us to take this aspect lightly. Which one? That the self has to be realized in our own self. The Akasha Rupa Brahma has to be realized in our own self. The Kevala Atma Anubhava should be realized in ourselves, not through the senses in the Anatma, not through the Manabuddhi in the Anatma. Through the Buddhi only, but inside the Atma, inside ourselves. And the Buddhi also transcended. Correct? Now, one by one, beautiful quotes from the Purana. Tathacha, first, Shiva Dharmottare. In the Shiva Dharmottara Purana, Yoginam, for the yogis who have fulfilled their mission of yoga of realization, Yoginam Atmanistitihi. They have realized their self in their own self. Yoginam Atmanistitihi. Quoted. What is the mantra? शिवम् आत्मनि पश्यन्ति प्रतिमासु न योगिनः आत्मस्थं यः परित्यज्य बहिस्थं यजते शिवं हृत्स्थं हस्तस्थं पिण्डमुत्सृज्य लिह्यात् कूर्परमात्मनः. Very good. Fantastic saying. He says, Shivam Atmani Pashyanti Yoginah. The yogis realize the Shiva Tattva in their own self. Na pratimasu, nor in the outer idols. प्रतिमा में शिव नहीं है, आत्मा में शिव. Remember, seeing for Shiva in Pratima in the beginning, as much it is essential, later on, so much that alone is obstruction. Why it is very essential? Because seeing Shiva in the Pratima is a beginning of recognizing Shiva in the Pratima. Shiva means कोई भी परमात्मा, Rama, Krishna, any of the idol form. Murti या चित्रपट जो भी कहो. That to bring concentration, to bring the faith in us to accept the presence of Lord. But the most unfortunate thing with this practice of seeing Shiva in the outer Pratima is that we finally conclude that Shiva is there only in that Pratima as if nowhere. That is why throughout our day schedule, may only for those 10 minutes when we are in puja room that we are remembering God. Throughout the day we are not remembering. That is the most bad side effect of the Pratima Puja. Whereas the purpose of Pratima Puja is to start seeing the Lord at least at one place. Thereafter, every place. Then, to experience Him, only one thing is our own heart. To develop the faith in us about the presence of the Lord, we start in a temple, in our puja room. But that's not the end of it. But we conclude, इसलिए जब भी हम कहते हैं चलो बद्रीनाथ चाहते हैं भगवान का दर्शन करने के लिए. We have to go to Badrinath once to feel the presence of the Lord there. Thereafter, we must tell to ourselves or listen to someone that Badrinath is there everywhere. Thereafter, that Badrinath is to be realized in your heart. That stone is not Badrinarayana. The Lord who is represented through that Murti is called Paramatma. याद रखना हमेशा. मूर्ति क्या है? To take our attention towards the Paramatma, it is an alambana, it's a symbol. And with all love, respect, reverence, we do the upasana to the Murti to have that same love, respect to that Amurta Paramatma. Then the desire, who is he, what is he, where is he, how to find him, this jignasa should come. Then we are told, go to the Upanishad. Upanishad says, Atmastam. So, Shivam Atmani Pashyanti Yoginaha na Pratimasu. But we'll begin with Pratima, but we'll not stop it. That's why in Hindu tradition, we look at the Lord and then close eyes. Immediately, instantaneously, all Hindus. Because the purpose is that Lord has to be seen in our own heart. देखा उस रूप को, फिर वो रूप को मन में देखा. तो बाहर स्थूल रूप में we have done upasana, inside सूक्ष्म रूप में we have done upasana. As the result of that inner Sthula Rupa Upasana, Sukshma Rupa, but Rupa Nama Upasana, slowly the faith in him grows. Then one day one guru comes and tells that conscious self in you on whom you have projected that Devata and you have projected your own self as a Upasaka. That is the reality. Realize it. So Yoginah Shivam Atmastam Anupashyanti Na Pratimasu. This is the clarity given. Atmastam is the word of the Upanishad. To explain, this is the quotation. So ये quotation किसके लिए, किस पॉइंट के लिए है, वो पहले याद रखना. To say that Atmastam. So in the beginning days, Sare Tirtha Yatraya Mandir, everything Humo to develop the faith. But the Lord can be and should be realized only in our Atma, in the self as the self. So clear this is योगिनः कर्म कुर्वन्ति संगम त्यक्त्वा आत्मशुद्धयेन गीता. यहाँ योगिनः शिवम आत्मस्थम पश्यन्ति न प्रतिमासु. Na pratimasu means what? Not you have to be very careful when we listen to Vedanta. Na pratimasu doesn't mean that you reject the pratima. It's a beginning and it's the end also. Means what? We start seeing in the pratima. Thereafter we realize in our own self. Thereafter this self alone is there. Not only in this pratima but in every pratima. Not only the dead stone in the murti of the Lord, but also in all the beings we see that truth only. So first for the alambana support outside, but for the experience and moksha inside. After that, even if you don't want, you will see everywhere that only, because that alone is there. So this is a direct thought. Yoginaha Shivam Atmastam Anupashyanti Na Pratimasu. Now the second and third line are very important. What is it? Atmastamyaha Parityajya. Very careful about this. The ones who have given up seeing the Shiva in their own heart, the Atma Shiva, Bahistamyajate Shivam, those people are doing the Upasana to the Shiva outside, in the Linga or in the Murti with all pujas, abhishekas, which is required in the beginning, not for the later on matured student. Such people who are never trying to recognize the Shiva in their own self as the self. Shiva means Paramatma Tattva. Here Shiva means Parabrahma. But trying all the way outside, you know how they are like? See the example. Ki hastastam pindam utsrujya. A very good morsel of food is there in the hand. Pinda means food. हस्तस्थम हाथ में है बढ़िया सा व्यंजन खाने का, उसको फेंक कर हस्तस्थम पिंडम उत्सृज्य, then लिह्यात कूर्परम आत्मनः is only licking his own hands, or कूर्परा it can also mean जब पत्थर जिसके ऊपर वो खाने का वस्तु था. So the food is thrown away and you are only licking that. हाथ में का खाना फेंक दिया और आंख को चाट रहे भी. See the example. हस्तस्थम पिंडम उत्सृज्य लिह्यात कूर्परम आत्मनः. Atmanam apna. Kurpara means hateli. Lihyat means lehanam karna. We are licking our hands, throwing the food. Imagine that scene. You know, somebody have a wonderful sweet for you to eat. Chal, फेंक दिया. अब चाट रहे. So in that, what is there is, not only there is some humor, more than humor, there is sarcasm, more than sarcasm, pointing out our foolishness. Is there any fool who throws away the food from the hand and licks the hand? Is there any fool? Every one of us are fools only. We may not do it with regard to the food. वो तो खा रहे हैं, लेकिन with regards to sadhana, it is as equivalent as not seeing the self, the Lord inside ourselves, trying to see him everywhere, is like this only. So therefore, 100 people give food to them in their hands. Then observe them. All of them eat food. Then lick it and wash it, okay. जो भी हाथ में. So they're all wise. Now 10,000 people going to the temple. All are seeing the Lord in the temple, not in the heart. All are fools. Among them, we are the first ones. Because hastastam pindam utsrujya atmana kurparam lihyat. He is that type of person. See the Puranic mantra, substantiating the main mantra of the Upanishad, ki nityameva atma samstam. Etad neyam nityameva atma. Now with this listening, we have to realize the need of becoming introverted every day as many as time possible to realize the inner Atman beyond the Panchakoshas or any of the technique which you have understood so far. I really liked this example of throwing the food from the hand and licking it. Hastastam pindam utsrujya lihyat kurparamatmana. The one who is Atmastam yaha paritejya bahistam yajite shivam hrustam pindam utsrujya lihyat kurparamatmana. Hastastam pindam, sorry, not utstam. Hastastam pindam utsrujya lihyat kurparamatmana. Done? Very clear example भी दे दिया. कोटेशन भी कंप्लीट है तो रियलाइज द सेल्फ इनसाइड, नॉट इन द प्रतिमा. सो तो फिर शुरुआत के लिए ठीक है वो, बट मेन तो अंदर है. अंदर पहनने का पता करने के बाद once the self is realized, the delusion goes away of the superimpositions on the self of all the Triputi. Everything is that Brahman is realized. Then he says, Sarvatra avasthitam shantam na pashyanti ha Shankaram jnana chakshur vihinatvad. See, not only in his own self, but sarvatra avasthitam, the one who is permeating everywhere. Shantam, who is the peace. Then napashyantiha Shankaram, while being a human being, somebody who is not discovering that Lord Shiva Shankara, who is Shanta Swarupa everywhere, he is like Jnana Chakshur Vihinatvat. Because he has Charma Chakshu, but he has no Jnana Chakshu. Because he has no Jnana Chakshu, he is not able to realize the self Shiva in himself nor anywhere else. Example is given कि अंधः सूर्यं यथा उदितम्. Suryam Uditam. Oh, Lord Sun is blazing. But this fellow cannot see Mr. Dhritarashtra because by birth he is an Andha. Uditam Suryam Yatha Andha Na Pashyati. So Chakshuhihinaha Uditam Suryam Na Pashyati Andha. So to Jnana Chakshuhihinaha is not able to see that Shiva, the Shanta Sarupa Shiva, who is all pervading. Before that, realizing his own self. So two jobs. Realize the Shiva Tattva in the heart, then see the same Shiva everywhere. For that, the Jnana Chakshu has to open. And that is done through our Shastra Dhenam and Sadhana. Jnana Chakshu se, है ना? सर्वगम सच्चिदानंदम ज्ञान चक्षुर निरीक्षते अज्ञान चक्षुर न ईक्षेता भास्वंतम भानुमंदवत. Exactly what our Shankara Bhagavan only said in Taita Asna Atmamoda. Here also in the Purana this mantra is there. A blind person can't see blazing sun. A Jnana Chakshu Vihina Vyakti cannot see the Shanta Shiva who is all pervading. Done? Okay. In the same way, Yaha Pashye Sarvagam Shantam. So too, the one who has realized in himself and everywhere, Tasya Adhyatmastita Shivaha. In then, when we start doing Upasana at one Murti, expand it to see the entire Murti of the Lord. These are all Upasana, still the Dvaita is maintained. That Shiva, to experience the Advaita Rupana, has to be realized in the heart. So, Yaha Pashye Sarvagam Shantam, it is the initial sadhana, but the final is what? Tasya Adhyatmastitaha Shivaha. Again, another example. Atmastam ye na pashyanti, tirthe marganti te Shivam. Okay, the people who are not seeing the Shiva in their own heart, those who are not educated this way, correctly guided this way, they are the ones, they are Marganti searching for the Shiva Tirthe in all the Tirtha Kshetras. Okay. Another example. Atmastam Tirtham Utsrujya Bahis Tirthadiyo Vrajet. The one who is not visiting the Tirtha Kshetra in his own heart. But Bahis Tirthadiyo Vrajet. Going to all the outer Tirtha Kshetras. in search of the Lord, the Shiva, the reality, the truth, the Paramatma, the Brahman, the Mukti giving Paramatma. Again, another example is Karastam Saha Maharatnam Tyaktva. He just threw away the great diamond which is there in his hands. Kacham Margati. Now he is searching for a piece of glass piece. कांच का टुकड़ा ढूंढ रहा है वो अपने हाथ में जो महारत्न है वो फेंक कर. See the examples given, so humorous and silly, and our life also is made so meaningless and silly by our own stupidity and ignorance. Wake up now, open your jnana chakshu, realize that Kevala Atma Akasha Brahma Rupam in your own self. है ना आवृत चक्षु अमृतत्व इच्छन लेट अस स्टार्ट सर्चिंग हिम इनसाइड अस अत्यंत सूक्ष्म सकल उपाधि अतीत अगर ये जर्नी स्टार्ट नहीं किया तो अभी शुरू करें keep on traveling inside the self in this way we have one more quotation etc to substantiate this point from Kavashaya Gita. Then in the next mantra the alambana of Omkara will be told to us to reach out to the inner own self, which is common in all Upanishads. So, these Upanishad Rishi also respecting the tradition. So, gives the Omkara as an alambana. Bhakya alambana, antara alambana. Those 2-3 slokas towards the end of this chapter give us the sadhana to realize the inner self. And keep on listening. It will always remain as vague till the Ishwara Guru Kripa doesn't come on us. And we have to do the upasana also to them so that their kripa makes us realize the deeper meaning of it. We are also able to do sadhana and recognize that Shiva Atmastu. Continue. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramrishibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. That's great. Please join in 5 minutes for our study of Bhagavad Gita, also 1 or 2 shlokas. Yeah, friends.